Okay, so here we're going to use the same file we've been using, and you may need to come down here and click on the tab for Excel 4, Activity 4. And I've made a couple of modifications to this to show you a few different things that you can do with this activity. If you look over here in yours and you see the numbers 1 and 2 in here, I want you to at least temporarily delete those. And depending upon when you're doing this activity, you may or may not have that in there, but go ahead and delete that. And got a few things I'm going to show you. First of all, I want to do something we've already done with previous lessons. I want to click cell A1 through C1, and this has actually already been merged together. Notice how when I select that cell, it's already merged, but it just hasn't been centered. So what you can do is you can come over here and there's no option here for centering. It all involves merging, which is fine. Come over here under the alignment group still and click on the align center button, and it will take that text and center it in the middle of that cell. Alright, so the next thing that we want to do here is we want to take this information and we want to turn this into a table. And what we're going to do is we're just going to experiment with a little bit. And like we did with the previous activity, we want to take this and click anywhere inside this table, and we want to go under the Home tab and under the Tables group and click Format as Table. And we want to pick one of these that has a header row, and we're going to go with a medium. We're going to go with this one right here. Let's go with this one right here, kind of orange and gray, if you will. And again, Excel can correctly detect that this data is in cells A5 to C25, although these cells are currently blank, and that's fine. And yes, this table does have a header row, which is the description of the data that's in that column. So we're going to click OK. And what this will enable us to do is to, now that it's inside, it's formatted as a table, we can format this in a couple different ways. Now it looks like that by default this is sorted in ascending order or in alphabetical order by the product category. But what if you wanted to sort this in descending order by number? Then what you can do is you can come over here and click units sold and then sort it in descending order. And what this will do is put it in largest number to smallest number, or end to beginning. So we're going to click sort in descending, and notice how the product categories changed as well. Okay. And then the next thing that you could do is you could come over here in this rank field, and you just want to be able to type in a number to indicate, well, how are these ranked? So what you can do is type in the number 1 here, and then you can type in the number 2 here, and then you select both of these. Now this is a little bit tricky. Notice in a previous activity we talked about you have to set the series, if you will, and just type in the number 1 in here isn't quite enough, so you actually have to put in 1 and 2. So what you want to do is to click this handle, this fill handle, the little square handle, and drag it down through here, and now you've got your series that's been filled. So you've got 1 all the way down to 20. Now the thing is, if you were to go back at this point and try to sort it by, let's say, ascending order, now in this case you would get rank 20, 19, 18 all the way down through. But what if you were to sort it in ascending order according to name? If that's the case, and you could do it, maybe you had a need to do this, but you can sort it by name, and then you would see the rankings in terms of the number of units sold. So it's just a matter of determining how it is that you want to do this. And you could come back over here at this point and change your rank, sort it by ascending order, and then it'll put it back in ascending order by rank, which the rank in this case is determined by the units sold, largest to smallest. So you do have to get careful. You have to be careful when you're doing things like this. Now, there are some other things you might want to do here. Now, in here, column C, you're looking at these numbers. Not that necessarily you're going to add these numbers up, but I would think that you would want to take column C and align it. And you could leave this aligned at the right if you wanted to, but you could also align it at the center. Since you're not adding these numbers up, because you're not going to perform any mathematical calculations, you can click Align Center on this, and you may have to click it a couple of times. And when you do that, and see, it's actually not going to work for me here, but maybe you can just come and select the cells and not the entire column, as I just did, and then you can align this text in the center. And then you might want to do the same thing over here to make this look a little bit better, a little bit easier to read. You select these cells, and then you align them in the center as well. And again, you can do this because you're not adding these numbers up or anything, you're not performing any mathematical calculations. And then for the rest of this activity, you can come up here again as we've done previously and go under the Home tab and go under Cell Styles. And you can put some other type of heading on this if you wanted to. You can still apply a title style to this. And then you could still come in and you could change the color of that text. So you can come over here, and this is kind of a burnt orange color, so then you could click on that and you see how you get a burnt orange color. And then you could click the bold button. And then you could do something similar down here if you wanted to. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it because I think we've done enough to this activity. So that is it for this particular activity. If you'll save your changes, and now we're ready to move on to the next one.